The Indiana Pacers are an American professional basketball team based in Indianapolis. The Pacers compete in the National Basketball Association, NBA, as a member of the Central Division of the Eastern Conference. The Pacers were established in 1967 as an original member of the American Basketball Association, ABA, and became a member of the NBA in 1976 as a result of the ABA-NBA merger. They play their home games at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The team is named after the state of Indiana's history with the Indianapolis 500's pace cars and with the harness racing industry. The Pacers have won 3 championships in 1970, 1972, and 1973, all in the ABA. They also reached the ABA Finals in 1969 and 1975. The Pacers were NBA Eastern Conference champions in 2000. The team has also won 9 division titles. 6 Hall of Fame players, Reggie Miller, Chris Mullin, Alex English, Mel Daniels, Roger Brown, and George McGinnis, played with the Pacers for multiple seasons. Hall of Famers Adrian Dantley, Gus Johnson, and Tim Hardaway also played for the Pacers. The franchise has multiple Hall of Fame coaches in Bobby "Slick" Leonard, Jack Ramsey, and Larry Brown. Furthermore, former Pacers inducted into International Halls of Fame include Reggie Miller, Detlef Schrempf, and Peja Stojakovic in the FIBA Hall of Fame, Sarunas Jasikovičius in the EuroLeague Hall of Fame, and Peja Stojakovic in the HEBA Basketball Hall of Fame. Franchise history. In early 1967, a group of 6 investors, attorney Richard Tinkham, John DeVoe, Chuck DeVoe, entrepreneur Lynn Treese, sports agent Chuck Barnes, and Indianapolis Star sports writer Bob Collins, pooled their resources to purchase a franchise in the proposed American Basketball Association. For their first 7 years, they played in the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum. In 1974, they moved to the new Market Square Arena in downtown Indianapolis, where they played for 25 years. Early in the Pacers' second season, former Indiana Hoosiers standout Bob "Slick" Leonard became the team's head coach, replacing Larry Staverman. Leonard quickly turned the Pacers into a juggernaut. His teams were buoyed by the great play of superstars such as Mel Daniels, George McGinnis, Bob Nedelicki, Rick Mount, Freddie Lewis, and Roger Brown. The Pacers were the most successful team in ABA history, winning 3 ABA championships in 4 years. In all, they appeared in the ABA Finals 5 times in the league's 9-year history, which was an ABA record. The Pacers were one of 4 ABA teams that joined the NBA in the ABA-NBA merger in the 1976-77 season, along with the Denver Nuggets, New York Nets, and San Antonio Spurs. The league charged a $3.2 million entry fee for each former ABA team. Since the NBA would only agree to accept 4 ABA teams in the merger, the surviving ABA teams also had to compensate the 2 remaining ABA franchises which were not a part of the merger, the Spirits of St. Louis and Kentucky Colonels. As a result of the merger, the 4 teams dealt with financial troubles. Additionally, the Pacers had some financial troubles, which dated back to their waning days in the ABA. They had begun selling off some of their star players in the last ABA season. The new NBA teams also were barred from sharing in national TV revenues for 4 years. The Pacers finished their inaugural NBA season with a record of 36-46. Billy Knight and Don Buse represented Indiana in the NBA All-Star Game. However, this was one of the few bright spots of the Pacers' first 13 years in the NBA. During this time, they had only 2 non-losing seasons and only 2 playoff appearances. A lack of continuity became the norm for most of the next decade, as they traded away Knight and Buse before the 1977-78 season even started. They acquired Adrian Dantley in exchange for Knight, but Dantley, who was averaging nearly 27 points per game at the time, was traded in December, while the Pacers' second leading scorer, John Williamson, was dealt in January. The early Pacers came out on the short end of 2 of the most one-sided trades in NBA history. In 1980, they traded Alex English to the Nuggets to reacquire former ABA star George McGinnis. McGinnis was long past his prime and contributed very little during his 2-year return. English, in contrast, went on to become one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. The next year, they traded a 1984 draft pick to the Portland Trail Blazers for center Tom Owens, who had played for the Pacers during their last ABA season. Owens played 1 year for the Pacers with little impact and was out of the league altogether a year later. In 1983-84, the Pacers finished with the worst record in the Eastern Conference, which would have given the Pacers the 2nd overall pick in the draft, the pick that the Blazers used to select Sam Bowie while Michael Jordan was still available. As a result of the Owens trade, They were left as bystanders in the midst of one of the deepest drafts in NBA history, including such future stars as Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Sam Perkins, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton. Clark Kellogg was drafted by the Pacers in the 1982 and finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting, but the Pacers finished the 1982-83 season with their all-time worst record of 20-62 and won only 26 games the following season. After winning 22 games in 1984-85 and 26 games in 1985-86, Jack Ramsey replaced George Irvine as coach and led the Pacers to a 41-41 record in 1986-87 and their second playoff appearance as an NBA team. Chuck Person, nicknamed the Rifleman for his renowned long-range shooting, led the team in scoring as a rookie and won NBA Rookie of the Year honors. Their first playoff win in NBA franchise history was earned in Game 3 of their first-round best-of-5 series against the Atlanta Hawks. But it was their only victory in that series, as the Hawks defeated them in 4 games. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the next video you want to see.